You're listening to the Running Up the Score podcast.
The NHL playoffs. And boy, oh boy, do we want to appreciate it.
Yep.
The New York Islanders will start off with sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, it's funny because, we went through, the preview the day before the playoffs started. Went through the preview. And everybody picked the Pittsburgh Penguins to beat the New York Islanders, which I don't really understand because the Islanders had a better record. They had more points. They were ahead in the standings. They got home ice against the Pittsburgh Penguins. All signs would be they're the better team. But you know what? Nobody wanted to believe in this team. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because we're the ones that are in the second round. The Pittsburgh Penguins aren't. The Islanders trailed. This is I think the best stat that I read with this series. The Islanders trailed for only 4 minutes and 51 seconds. The Pittsburgh Penguins had an empty net longer than that at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. You know, the perfect word to describe this Islanders team is resilient. Every single time nobody believed in them, they stepped up to the plate. Every single time they went down by a goal against Pittsburgh, they came back and scored a goal. They are a very resilient team, and I'm excited to be a fan of this team because I'm excited to watch them for the rest of the NHL playoffs. And you know what? They're moving on. They got a great team. And you know what? They don't need John Tavares. They don't need him.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to the New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins series, it really is as very straightforward as you can imagine. Pittsburgh made a lot of mistakes.
A lot.
It didn't stop with them. Their defensive side was pretty brutal. I watched Malkin turn the puck over, and then his back skating was absolutely atrocious. And I'm used to watching this. I've watched Islander hockey. This is what they did. Back checking wasn't a thing for New York Islanders over the last 5, 6, some odd years. And you got to play a defensive style if you want to win in the playoffs. I think Barry Trotz's got them doing the right thing. Barry Trotz there's no other way to put it. This guy is well-deserved of the Jack Adams Award. He is the best coach in hockey. He has proven every specialist wrong. And even come, April, he's still proving them wrong. Absolutely. And the problem is that, like he just said, teams are still, all these specialists are going to sit there and tell you, hey, we like Pittsburgh in this series. It clearly just shows. I mean, at this point, I don't listen to specialists when it comes to hockey anymore. I just watch the games. And I think every hockey fan who is a true hockey fan does the exact same. And, these games have been amazing across the whole board. The Islanders were incredible. 4 straight games. Their first sweep since I've ever witnessed.
1983.
Well, it's the first one I've ever witnessed in my life, and as a fan, I really could appreciate it. Obviously, there's a lot more work to do. We will find out who we play next between Washington and the Capitals. That series is tied 2-2.
Let's hope they just go 7. And then that game 7 goes like 3 or 4.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, we go. You want to get into Washington and the Capitals. And the one thing that comes to mind is they'll call it the fight. It was between a 19-year-old kid that was drafted 2nd overall that didn't make a good decision here and decided to throw the hands with Alex Ovechkin. And Ovechkin's been there before. He's a very, very tough guy. Don't be fooled by his ability to play the game. He could do a lot more for a team, and even Barry Trotz can vouch for this. And he knocked him out in one punch, and it's going to make that rest of that series very gritty. Clearly, the next game after that, Yoshi got himself hurt.
They said
it's going to be a war between these two teams. It'll be fun to watch. It's tied at 2 right now. Game 5 is tonight at 8:00. Of course, that would be the primetime game. It has to be. Those two teams are really going after each other. Carolina plays a very good style where they like to throw pucks to the net. Washington's a more defensive-style team, and they have one of the best shooters of all time in Alexander Ovechkin. So that's an interesting series. Like he said, I mean, every Islander fan's perspective, we're thinking 7 games. I don't care if it's 6, but
both teams are going to be tough to play.
Just hit each other, and exactly. Give the Islanders an idea of who we're going to be playing.
And Oshie's going to be out for a little while, they said. So that's a big loss for the Washington Capitals. Also, the Islanders losing Boychuk is a big loss too, but Thomas Hickey's going to come in to replace him. So, I'm fine with that. But a funny tweet that I saw, basically someone said that the Carolina Hurricanes are the Islanders that the NHL specialists love.
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of hockey, both of them. The Islanders and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be a tough team. Washington Capitals are going to be a tough team. Either way, the Islanders are going to have a tough game, a tough series against whoever they play. Again, like we said, we're just hoping for 7. We'll see what happens, but Washington, with Ovechkin, no matter what, is going to be a tough series.
You've been listening to the Running Up the Score podcast. For more Running Up the Score, go follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at RUTS Sports.